Welcome to the Kristi Jones Show. This is your go-to podcast for living life to the fullest. I am a life and empowerment coach, speaker, and business owner in multifamily real estate. I am a woman passionate about helping others build a life that they truly desire. We'll talk about how to make the most out of every day, from setting meaningful goals to embracing the present moment. So join us as we explore the depths of living a life that is full of joy, purpose, and satisfaction. Well, hello, welcome back, my friends, to another episode of the Kristi Jones Show. All the things to live your life to the fullest. And today I am going to be talking about flourishing and thriving in life. This has actually been the series that I'm doing in my coaching practice right now with my one-on-one clients. And it's all about really setting yourself up to flourish and thrive in your life. It's through intentional living. I'm going to talk about that in more detail in this episode. So let me start by saying that most women get, when I say thriving or thriving beyond the 9 to 5, flourish and thrive in your life, like that stirs something up in them. They get it. They automatically know exactly what I'm talking about. When I say those few words, most women go, yeah, I get it. Like, and they have the desire. Women want to really show up in their life in a way that feels good to them, feels authentic. And it isn't just like accepting whatever comes their way. And so in Flourish and Thrive, in this coaching session, I dive into what I have found in this process. My process is 5 foundations. And within those 5 foundation, they basically all tie in to how to live with intention. So to build a life that you truly desire, that you really want to have, not the one you're told you should have, not the one you feel like you're supposed to want, the one that really resonates with you. That when you sit and think about what aligns with you, what feels right, what aligns with your personal values, with your personal, it's like your own roadmap to what you envision your authentic dream life to be. And if you want to create that, if you want to have that, you have to move forward with intention. You just can't well, whatever happens, happens. I mean, there is a balance, yes, from building the life that you desire and also that subtle surrender to the universe, to your creator, to God, whatever word you choose to use for that. For me, it's God. Like there is a balance there between surrendering to what is and what is possible and what is in line for my life. And then also matching that with my truest desires, my authentic life, the authentic life that I want to create. So in Flourish and Thrive, I tap into all 5 of the foundations of that. And I take clients through an assessment. And then actually during our coaching session, we pick 2, sometimes 3, but for that first session, we pick a couple of the 5 foundations that we need to discuss further and dive into and come up with a plan of action. And then also in Flourish and Thrive, after we have that 90-minute session and we dive into those areas of focus for the client, then that client also gets a written plan of action that they have some specific things that they can actually do, actually put into practice to get them on their way. And then I schedule a 21-day follow-up with them. And that's just another way to check in. We have another session and really see, how things had gone in that 21 days and what else we can kind of fine tune and, reignite, reestablish so that you can continue forward with intentional living. And then from there, sometimes clients, they'll go on continuing their work with me in a different format of one-on-one and a different rotation, a different timeline. But the Flourish and Thrive is really the way to be bold, fabulous, and fierce in your life, is how I like to say it. It's the way that you get to choose how you want to create your life intentionally, not just sleepwalk through life. I see this so many times with women, actually men and women. But this shows up so often to where they get moving forward in their life and then show up at a certain point in their life. And it's like they've just been kind of letting life happen. And then later down the road, they wake up unfulfilled, lacking purpose, unhappy, no direction, or just their life's a freaking mess. And that's so what can happen if we don't move forward with intention. If we don't have our actions align with our values, that's what can easily happen. So when I talk about, flourish and thrive, a big component of that is really learning how to thrive in your life beyond the 9 to 5. Most of the women that I work with are successful and they're high achievers, and, they're hitting the mark in an area or two of their life. And they are successful by society standards, but they feel like they've lost control of their life. They feel like that things are starting to spiral. There's other layers, other components of their life that just feel like they're just kind of floundering. So it's time to take your life back. It's time to take your whole life back. It's time to focus on other aspects of your life that make a successful life. It's not just about building your career, building money. While all of that is very important and it feels good, and it's definitely setting yourself up in the right areas of building your life and creating stability and very, very important aspects. I don't argue that whatsoever. I think those are very fulfilling and very important. I mean, you have to, if you want to have more freedom and flexibility in your life, the way to do that is to, create wealth and also live within your means. So wealth can mean different things to different people. If you are able to live within your means in a comfortable way, and it gives you the freedom and flexibility of your time that you want, then my friend, that is it. That is the wealth, is having choices. Taking care of your basics and all of the basics, right? I don't have to go through that. Like, you're a successful person. You understand food, shelter, the necessities. But the true freedom, or I'll say what I personally have defined as a big component of success, is having the ability to choose how to spend my time, where to spend my time. Freedom and flexibility in that is really, really powerful. So outside of our work that we put out in the world, which is really an extension of us, any work that you do is an extension of you. It's an extension of your talents. It's an extension of your persona. It's an extension of really any aspect of yourself. It's an extension of what you get to offer to the world. But outside of that, there are so many other layers to what contributes to you having a fulfilling life. And so that's where Flourish and Thrive comes in, is that you've got those basic components down, but women are feeling so unsettled, so lost, so discouraged in these other areas of their life, and they can't figure out why. Or they know why, but they can't show up for themselves in the way they need to show up so that they can have success and fulfillment in these other areas. And to truly flourish and thrive means to live with intention. It means to show up in a way that you are building towards your intentional life. You're building towards creating the life that you really desire. A lot of times I have to take women through this process of how to unleash their inner power, how to really tap into their strength and their confidence. Sometimes we have to talk about, how to work through burnout, and really just how I help women empower themselves to pursue happiness in all areas of their life. And I think that's one of those little things that is put out there in life that, well, you can have happiness and you can have fulfillment, but probably not in all areas. And so that's my big message, is that no, you can. I have. If you knew my story, some of you do. If you knew my story, you would be like, okay, what? Like, how did you overcome that? And what did you did? You started here and now you're here, and you went through this breakup, and you went through that type of situation, and you went through that mistreatment, and you went through this abuse. And look, there are so many scenarios of what can happen in your life, what can go wrong, what can go right. There's so many different scenarios. Regardless of what those scenarios are, you have the ability to continue to build the life that you truly desire. Any of the crap that's happened to you in the past it only has the power to hold you back if you let it. So whatever power you're assigning to whatever the situation is, maybe you're assigning certain power to a particular relationship or a past relationship or a past circumstance, you're assigning the power to that. So you have the ability to empower yourself. So quit giving so much freaking power to the situation. I mean, which takes me back in again, this is another I would say a common discussion in Flourish and Thrive, in the coaching that I do in Flourish and Thrive, is that I help you understand the connection from your thoughts, you got circumstance. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're watching my hands go crazy right now in discussion. Circumstance, thoughts, then basically your feelings, how your thoughts affect your feelings, and then feelings, how we feel. We usually act or we don't act from the place of how we feel. So as we understand the connection between our thoughts and our feelings, and then how that trickles down to the results we get, because of it determines how we act or we don't act, or just don't act. Because when we don't act on something, that's making a decision of choosing not to do something. So I have to connect people to that. And once they start seeing that connection, we can choose our thoughts differently. And when we choose our thoughts differently, it changes the whole process after that. The entire process changes. The entire process changes. Because, my friend, a circumstance is completely neutral, I believe. Circumstances are neutral until until we attach a thought to it. So just ponder that for a minute. Like, leave this episode and really spend some time thinking about this. And you'll start to see the complete connection on this. So circumstances, situations in life, they're neutral. They are what they are. They become charged with either positive feeling or negative feeling or neutral feeling, but they become influenced by a feeling based on what thought we attach to it. And so the goal is that the challenge is when you have a circumstance that keeps coming up and you always go to like a negative thought on it, or you attach a certain thought right to that situation every single time. Well, my challenge is choose again, choose a different thought. Realize that the situation, the circumstance is neutral until you assign a thought to it. So once you decide what your thought is going to be about it, it's neutral. You assign a thought to it. Now it creates a feeling. So based on how you feel determines then how you act, how you show up, what you do, what you don't do, what you say, how your brain feels about it. I mean, and all of this happens at just lightning speed. So it's not like this is like step 1, step 2. Our brains are firing so fast. So this is where self-awareness comes in. The more self-aware you are, you can catch yourself at it. Kind of slows down the process. When you're more self-aware, you're already aware, like, oh, okay, here's the situation. Oh, that's interesting that I think that. Don't beat yourself up for whatever you're thinking about the situation or circumstance. Don't beat yourself up over it. Just be aware. Just bring that level of awareness there that, oh, this is what I'm thinking about that situation. This is my thought about that. And do I like how that makes me feel? Am I liking this? Am I liking this? If you don't, you need to look at it. You need to change your thought about it. So could you choose another thought? That's usually how I start people out. Like, could you choose another thought? And if so, let's talk about that. What other thought could you assign to that? Whatever thought could you have about that circumstance? What other thought could you have about that situation? And then move from there. So it's really about unleashing your inner power and really helping clients and women know that they can pursue happiness in all the areas of their life, all of them. I also like to talk about redefining success and, creating a vision for your life that's very fulfilling to you beyond the 9 to 5. Like, we know you already know how to do that. So we want to bring all these other layers of your life into flow. And, and really breaking free from the societal expectations and really making sure that you align things with your goals and your desires. So in Flourish and Thrive, I help women really design a lifestyle and a path through my process of the five foundations to where they can create a life that they truly desire. And they can really take their life back and live with purpose and know that the things that they're doing today are making a difference to build the life that they truly, authentically want to have. Well, I know that this conversation on Flourish and Thrive, I know it's answered some questions on what Flourish and Thrive is about. It is really the best work that we can do is our personal development work, and how the work we do internally shows up in our life in every other way. And yes, I know you are successful at your career and that you are thriving in that area. But when you do the personal development work, when you dive in to the inner work, it allows you to show up even more so in your professional and career life, Because a lot of times the things that like hold you back in that arena are inner work. It's not that you don't know the knowledge. It's not that you don't know something. It's the work that we need to do in our own brains. So it's that takes us to that next level. Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's conversation on Flourish and Thrive. To learn more about Flourish and Thrive, I'll have links in the show notes of how you can get to that page, find a little bit more information out, schedule a session, and really just find ways that you can really set yourself up to build your life and live your life with intention. Until next time, have a fabulous week, and I will talk to you soon.